Hello. Just going to come on a couple of minutes earlier so we can start right on 7:30 because I know Facebook takes a little while to do its thing. And I think there's quite a few of you who have said you are going to attend. All right, while I'm waiting for you to come on, because you'll see it on the replay, I think we should just take a moment to admire the fact that I did my hair this morning. Got up a little bit earlier and I washed it and dried it and put the curling iron through it, and look, actually doesn't look too bad today. It's a little bit big, it's a little bit bridesmaid at the moment, but it'll settle down as the day goes on, I am sure. All right, just a little reminder, guys, actually, while I'm here, because I just silenced somebody's post inside the group. This is not a place for posting memes or anything like that. So go ahead, make sure that you read the rules of the group. And the idea of this group and why it works so well is because we keep the newsfeed clean. The only thing that is on the newsfeed is my stuff. And occasionally, if one of my clients posts something, I will let them because they're special and they're allowed. But other than that, it's not for posting memes. It's not for anything like that, or inspirational posts or anything like that, because there's plenty of other Facebook groups for that. Our feeds outside of this group look like that. I want to make sure that everything goes onto this news feed inside this group is really valuable to the people that are in here. I don't want people to have to scroll through, crap load of inspirational posts and things like that before they find anything good. So if you post something like that, hey Janessa, if you post something like that and I delete it, don't be offended. That is just the way this group is set up. It's not, as I say, it is not for you guys to come on in here and be posting motivational stuff or anything like that. It's just not the place for it. So if you are unfamiliar with the rules, go back and read them and make sure that you're across them, because I will remove it. And if you're a serial offender, I will just remove you from the group. This is a great little group and we don't have people flouting the rules. There was a girl last week that did that. I gave her a little bit of rope to see if she'd hang herself, and she did. She basically pitched on a Sunday when she knew that normally I'm not in here on a Sunday. I just happened to look, I went in, I removed her, done. I think it's probably, this is off topic, but I'm going to talk about it anyway, because that sort of stuff really pisses me off. And I'll tell you why. It's just bad manners. If you come into somebody's group, if somebody's invited you into their group, obey the rules. If you want to go and pitch and promote and, all that sort of stuff, set up your own group and do it in your own group. Hey, Lisa Marie, great to see you on. Go do it in your own group. Don't come on and do it in my group, because it's just not cool. I'm a pretty easygoing person, but I don't tolerate people who basically say fuck you and do whatever they want in my group, because I work hard in this group, and I work hard to keep the vibe amazing. And I have a lot of people say to me, your group's so engaged and it's such a good group. And I said, have a look at the feed. Nobody is posting other than me. It's not an open forum for everybody to have a conversation. It's a place for me to share my knowledge with you and for you to get the most out of it. So yeah, just don't post shit. Basically, you can tag me and ask me a question, but don't tag me and ask me a question about, oh, I'm just not sure about my offer, and can you just check out my sales page? It's like, we know what you're doing. You know, I didn't come out of the last shower. I know that what you're doing is, you know, slyly pitching your stuff. And at the end of the day, the people that are in this group don't respect it anyway. People will message me and say, did you see that, you know, cheeky cow putting that message? And I'm like, yep. So nobody's going to respond. So if you come into this group and you start posting or sneakily trying to, you know, promote your stuff, it's not going to go down well. People in this group aren't going to buy it because they know you're breaking the rules. And I'm a pretty straight person. I have a lot of integrity. I say what I mean and I mean what I say, and I'm very generous and very loving and all that sort of stuff, but don't fuck with me basically, because you know, people know what they're doing. They might pretend they don't know what they're doing, but they know what they're doing. Anyway, rant over. I think I'm done with that. So what today is about giving you 5, and I've come up with 6, 5 things that I would do differently if I was starting my coaching business over. Now, if you've been in my community for a while, you'll know that I have been coaching since 1991. I officially became a coach in 1999. I've been coaching and mentoring coaches ever since. I've created well over 100 coaching programs and packages, online, offline, high ticket, low ticket, digital products. I've done the lot. And I've coached my clients to do the same thing over the years. So I've got a lot of experience, you know, and I've got, when I say experience, I fucked up a lot along the way, you know, made a lot of mistakes, costly mistakes. They cost me time, they cost me money, all those sorts of things. So, and I'm noticing as you guys come into the group that there's a lot of newbies in the group. And so I want, you know, coaches that are just starting out. And I want to help you get there faster. I want to help you to avoid the mistakes that I've made. And then there are going to be a bunch of you guys in here that have been coaching for years, but it still doesn't feel right. You still haven't wriggled into your sweet spot, or there are still things within your coaching business that piss you off, stress you out, or whatever, that you're still doing stuff that you don't really want to do. So what I decided I would do is, it's like, this is a great topic. You know, I want to come in here and share, these are the things that I would do differently if I was starting again. And, you know, when I kicked off this business again, my business again, in the middle of last year, this is exactly what I did. You know, this is exactly what I did. So I always follow my own advice, or most of the time, you know, as much as I can. And this stuff works, okay? And I've relaunched my business many times over the years because I, like you probably, you know, we outgrow things very quickly. So sometimes the work that we're doing is really exciting and inspiring and we're getting great results for our clients. And then we kind of go through this phase where we're like, I think I'm done with that. And then, you know, the mistake that a lot of us make is we hang on to that for too long. So if you're doing something because you did it once before and it worked before, but you're not quite feeling it anymore, don't hang on to it. You know, don't be afraid to evolve into the next version of it. And that's probably been one of the secrets to my longevity in this business. You know, I probably do hang on to things a little bit too long, but I can't live with it for too long. I'm just the sort of person that if something doesn't feel right, I self-combust unless I do something about it. So for me, I have relaunched and, you know, reconfigured the way that I do things so many times over the years. So this is stuff that I've done consistently in all of the years that I've been doing it. And it works for me and it'll work for you too. All right, so the first thing that I would do differently is I would create a really tight outcome-driven package. So what I mean by that is, back in the days when I first started coaching, I did what all the other coaches were doing. No one was really niching back then. And we were all business, life, whatever coaches. We were coaches that could coach anybody and everything. And because, you know, I really, pure coaching, with pure coaching, that's true because it's about the coaching process and it's about us being a vehicle for the person that is being coached. And so we didn't need to know about, so if I was a business coach, if I said I was a business coach back then, I didn't need to know about business. I just needed to know that I could get you to act and do the things that you know, basically drawing you out to do the things that you know you need to do. And that's a really pure coaching process. There's no mentoring, there's no telling you how to do anything. It's just drawing the best out of you. And, you know, that pure coaching model served me really well for a lot of years. But, you know, now, and especially because I charge more money than I've ever charged before, people want more than me asking them questions. You know, they want my experience. They want me to say, just tell me how to do this thing. And so that's what I do now, because I know there's value in that. And so my packaging back then was buy a 12-week coaching package. Now my packages are outcome driven. So you'll see, swallow my own spit. So you'll see the 5K formula for coaches is one coaching package. You will see Light and Leveraged is another package. So they're outcome driven packages. It's not just sign your life away and work with me for the rest of your natural life or for 12 weeks and we're just going to hang out. It's like there needs to be a purpose behind our work together. And so number 1 and number 2 go really closely together, and that is find a niche that you love and feels easy to work in. So if you can package up something that feels great for you and you can match that with the right niche, you're going to work in, you know, in your sweet spot or as close to that as you're going to get it, even from the beginning. So package up something that is outcome driven, not just time or sessions driven. So don't sell something and the main, you know, exciting point about it is that it's 12 sessions. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter. That's a detail. What you want to do is package something so that people look at your sales page or they have a conversation with you and they're like, oh my God, I need this in my life. People are not going to say that about buy 12 sessions. Do you know what I mean? It's just not going to have the same impact. So it's like, take them on a journey, let them know you understand the pain points and where they're at, let them know that you know a way to be able to help them to get where they want to be, all right? So the first thing is that package an outcome-driven package. The second thing is the niche. And tied together, those two things equal clarity. And the sooner you can get clarity in your business, the sooner you can move ahead. So if you're in that place where you feel like, I just don't quite know what I'm good at or what my package would look like, or I think I kind of know, and I think I kind of know who my market is. If you don't get that clarity, you're not going to move forward. You're just not going to move forward. You're going to be struggling with the content that you put out there. You're going to be struggling with visibility. You're going to struggle with feeling like a confident coach. And I can't help but say this again. Confident coaches are successful coaches. Confident coaches are the ones who are making the money and having the impact. So you need clarity. If you don't have it, if anything's fuzzy around the edges, it would be no surprise to me that you're not where you want to be. Okay, so clarity is so important. So clarity around what your package looks like, clarity around who your market is, like who's going to buy this thing, who do you want to work with. So there are two things. The third thing would be, and this is a big one, right? And this puts a lot of coaches off starting, and it puts a lot of coaches off really owning their shit. And that is, the third thing is, don't take responsibility for the results of your clients. I've got a pimple. What is with that? Anyway, so don't take responsibility for the results of your clients. So what I mean by that is, I speak to new coaches all the time and they say, well, what if I do that and I create this package and I say, I'm going to help them do this in 3 months, or in our time together, I'm going to help them achieve this thing. What if I don't? Like, what if they don't get the result? And I always say, well, if you do your bit and they do the things that you ask them to do, aren't they going to get a result? And if the answer is, I don't know, then you're selling the wrong thing, because you need to be unequivocal. You need to be 100% confident that the thing that you are selling is something you can deliver on. You just have to be that confident. And if the answer is yes, then that's all you can do. So I know that my 5K formula works. The last part of the 5K formula is a little bit tricky because people have to get uncomfortable and start doing the things that I ask them to do to sell their programs or their packages. And so a lot of them, the people that don't succeed, aren't doing that work. But I know if they do it, it works, because I've got enough experience with enough clients to know that when they just do what I say, do what I ask them to do, I should say, it works every single time. And so you need to have that confidence. So as I said, don't take responsibility for your client's results. So what I mean by that is, or lack of results probably is a better thing. So if you've got a client and they're not getting results, sometimes you're going to feel like you're not a great coach because they're not getting a result. But a lot of the time it's just that you've chosen the wrong client. The people that I work with now, the coaches that I work with now, they're already doing okay in their businesses, or they have they're already doing okay. And so it's easy for me to coach them because they just do as I ask them to do. They're successful usually, or they've had some sort of success, but they also know that they don't know everything, and they're just going to lean into my knowledge and just do as I ask, and then we get a really good result. And so the quality of my clients, this is kind of like a 3.1, I guess, 3.1. The better quality client you work with, the easier it is for you to do your job. So I have taken on clients where I went through this phase, especially if I'm doing really well in my business and making a lot of money, I tend to be over generous and I tend to want to save people. So I will take on coaching clients that I think, I think this person really needs me. They really need me. So I'm going to go out of my way to help them. And then what tends to happen is I end up doing most of the work, and I end up wanting the success for them more than they want it for themselves. They go into fear, they go into lack, they go into scarcity, and I'm still there thinking I can save their ass. But at the end of the day, it's not who I want to work with anymore. And those people need to go and do other work potentially before they come and work with me. And so, I've been in this game a long time, and I'm still really refining, who I work with, and I become more selective as the months go on, as the years go on. And now I really know who my ideal clients are because they get results every month. They just easily get results every month. There's no more saving anybody for me. I have free content, so anybody that can't afford my programs or anything like that, I'm giving you this free stuff so that you can start to implement it. And the girls or the coaches that come and work with me are the ones who are implementing stuff. They're implementing the free stuff, they're getting a result, and then they come to me going, you know what, I did those things that you asked me to do, I made a bunch of money, now I'm ready to come and start coaching with you. Or they already have the money there because they're successful in their business in some way. Maybe they're successful as a business person having achieved a result, and then they want to move into coaching, or their coaching business is already doing pretty well, but it's just not, they haven't scaled it right, or they're just not happy in it, and they know that they can be doing it better or bigger in some way. Number one is that outcome driven package. Number two is niche and clarity, crystal clarity around those two things. Number three, don't take responsibility for your clients' results, and really choose your clients carefully. Now, every coach in the beginning, they always say, I'm not going to take on any clients that aren't the perfect fit. But you know what? The reality is a lot of the time they do, because they just want to make the sale. And I don't have a problem with that, because at the end of the day, that's the only way you learn how not to work with clients who suck the life out of you. That's the only way you learn, because you don't know how long 12 weeks is in your life when you take on a client that sucks the life out of you. Like, that's when 12 weeks seems like 12 years. But you're like, I'm committed to this thing, they're committed to this thing, we've just got to see this thing out. You just grit your teeth and you get on with it. But it's not fun, it's not fun, and it actually doesn't make you feel like a great coach. You're not going to get the same result, and that kind of has this flow-on effect sometimes where it damages the way you see yourself as a coach because the results aren't there, and then you start to question yourself and you go off on some weird tangent. So we don't want to do that. But if you do it, just remind yourself, oh yeah, this is that thing that I said I wasn't going to do, and here I am and I'm doing it. Just get on with it, and know that if you choose better clients, you're going to get a better result. It's just the way that it is. So if one thing that I probably really want to stress is don't take on the wrong clients. you know, you're going to do that once or twice and that's fine, but then really get firm with yourself, because for every time you say no to somebody that you just, you know, your instincts tell you is not going to be a good fit, every time you say no to that person, a better person is going to show up. Somebody that's going to really let you be a great coach. You're going to thrive. They're going to thrive. You're going to get a great result. That's going to help build your reputation. And when you build a reputation as a coach that gets results for their clients, then you're always going to have business. Number 4 is really prioritizing money-making activities. So a lot of coaches just waste so much time. You know, they're wasting time on, you know, I've just got to get my website up, or I've just got to create this whatever, or I've just got to, you know, get another qualification, or I've just got to research stuff, or I'm just going to, you know, rebrand. You know, I had a client a couple of years ago and she was a serial rebrander, and there was nothing wrong with the first brand. It was just her way to delay actually doing the work where she had to get uncomfortable. And it's like, there was nothing fucking wrong with the first brand. If you had just stuck with that, because that was where we started and that was actually perfect. No, that's not it. And then this whole rebrand thing went on, and I just rolled my eyes. I'm like, you know what? Knock yourself out with the branding. Do what you want. But that's, if you find yourself procrastinating and spending a lot of time in stuff that isn't making money, activity type stuff, then you're doing it wrong. Like, you've got to be doing money-making activity every single day. And that could look like any number of things. It could be just really good quality content with a call to action. Like this today is a money-making activity. Like, a lot of people feel like there's this special secret formula of things that successful coaches do to make money. And yes, there is, you know, there's paid traffic and things like that, and there's definitely strategy behind it, but it's really a matter of just showing up and letting people know you're there, letting people know you know your stuff, and then letting them know what it is that you're selling. And if you do that well enough, you never have to go into, hey Clee, you don't have to go into desperation mode and, you know, heavy pitching and all the rest of it. I talk about my programs, and I'm going to talk about Light and Leverage at the end of this, but because I love my programs and I know they work. And if you give really good quality content, you know, you have permission to say to people, hey, and I've got this thing. But this is a money-making activity for me. You know, when I send out emails, that's a money-making activity. When I reach out to people on my follow-up list because they might have inquired, you know, a little while ago, that's a money-making activity. It's not, you know, it's not big. It's not this big secret thing. You know, I definitely do launches and I do, you know, paid ads and stuff like that at different times. But it's the stuff that you do every single day that actually makes the difference. I've had clients who I set them up with a checklist, and it's like, I want you to do these 10 things every single day. And then usually within 2 to 3 weeks, things start to really shift. Things really start to shift in their business. And so they get going and they start signing up clients and all that sort of stuff. And then they have this drought in their business. And I'm like, what about the checklist? Are you still doing the checklist? Oh no, you know. And it's like, when you stop that shit, that is when shit stops. So you have to be consistent. So it's not about this one big strategy that's just going to blow up your business overnight. It's about consistently planting seeds and asking for sales and giving value every single day. And if you do that consistently, if you do that for a 2 or 3 week period where every single day you show up, you will notice a difference. You will notice a difference in the bottom line in your business. You will notice a difference in engagement in your community. Thanks. As I said that, I was pretty impressed with myself. Yeah, so you have to just be committed to doing that stuff consistently, all right? Because if you don't do it consistently, stuff stops. It's as simple as that. You know, without getting woo-woo, everything is energy. And when we're putting positive, excited energy into the stuff that we do every day in our business, we're going to get that back. When we stop, it's almost like you turn the tap off on everything. So it's all about consistency. Number 5, so the fifth thing that I would have done earlier is just aim higher. You know, I can remember, you know, back in, consistency is the shit, Clee. I can remember back in, I think it was about 2010, And I think I was aiming for like $5,000 months. I remember doing that and hitting it pretty consistently. 4,000, 4,300, 4,800, 4,900. I'd have the occasional 5,000 month, and you know, it was like, woohoo. But you know, if I had have set my sights higher, I would have been having $10,000 months back then. What I know now, after doing this for so many years, is you will always get what you ask for. So ask for more, because it actually makes no difference. So on the years that I set goals for, you know, a particular income goal over the year, I always get really close to it. And every year it's like, why didn't I ask for more? How's that? How's that for a nice bruise? Or just ask for more and know that you can have it. I'm just going to check your message. Aim higher. Grant Cardone talks about this 10x. He says he wishes he aimed much higher. Yeah, so true. I was at GrowthCon a couple of years ago in Florida, and it was just too much. That whole thing was too much for me. But one of the things that I love about Grant Cardone, and one of the things that really resonated with me was, and I don't think it was his, I think it came from somewhere else, but he spoke about, you know, when you set a target for something, don't reduce the target when you look like you're not going to get there. Increase your activity, increase the stuff that you do. And it's like, God, that makes so much sense. How many times have we gone, you know, I want X amount of people in this program, or I want to earn this much this year or this month or whatever it is. And then things start to, you know, you're not getting the response that you want, and you're like, oh, you know what, it'd be okay if it was this, or, you know, even if it was this, it would be okay. And it's like, you know, and this is a lesson I need, because I'm, you know, one of those people that's like, oh, it'll do, whatever, it's fine, you know, because I've always got recurring income streams coming in. So I never get, and I'm not all about the money, you know, so I don't always get hung up in, you know, just nailing those numbers because that's what I said I wanted. It's like a nice goal at the start, and then I get a little bit distracted by stuff, and it's like, oh shit, I'm supposed to be selling that program. So it's not about that, yeah, the money thing for me, but it's true. It's like what it should be for me, and should be for you guys as well, is when things aren't going to plan, when you start to think about, you know what, I know I wanted 10, but if I get 4, it'll be okay. That should actually be the sign that you need to go a bit harder. Not take your foot off the pedal and go, it'll be okay if we just have this. Instead, it really should be about, okay, this isn't working, I need to go harder at this thing. And you know, I did go through this phase for a while, a few years ago, where I was all about the anti-hustle. And I never really meant, when I said anti-hustle, that we shouldn't hustle. What I meant was, you don't have to be stressed and working 24/7, because there was a lot of push to be, you know, everywhere all the time, you know, working your ass off 24/7, or you want, you know, when Gary Vee first came out, you know, when Gary Vee was first quite prominent. And even Grant Cardone, you know, and I rejected all of that, because I thought, I don't need to work every fucking minute of every day, and I'm not going to feel guilty because I don't want to work that hard. And if that means I don't make millions of dollars next year, then I'm okay with that, because I want to have a life. And so, yeah, but where was I going with the anti-hustle thing? But yeah, so I was in that phase of, you know, we don't have to work that hard. But I think a lot of people took that to mean that we didn't have to do anything. But you do, you know, I work hard in my business. I don't work hard every day. And I coach Tuesdays and Thursdays. That's it. My online program, you know, my group programs, I'm running Monday mornings these days. And then the rest of it is just me, you know, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I try to get all the things done that I need to get done, you know, for my clients. Sometimes that spills over onto a Friday. But I have a lot of time freedom. You know, I have a lot of time freedom because that's the way I set it up, and I make a really good living, and there's always the ability to scale and scale and scale and scale, and I'll be happy with that. You know, but that doesn't mean we don't hustle and we don't work. It just means I don't think you need to bust a lung to make money. I don't think you need to do that. And I'm also at the mindset around how much is enough. Do you know what I mean? It's like, how much is enough? If you're earning really good money and you're earning more than you ever thought was possible, and you can do that on repeat and you can do that while living life, that's always going to be my goal, as opposed to, well, I can have more if I work harder. You know, that's just not me. If that's you, good luck to you. There are a lot of people that are in that phase. Maybe it's the phase of my life too. But I've got to say, I've never really worked too hard to earn my money because I just haven't wanted to, haven't felt like I needed to. But I would have aimed higher, you know, because I now know that whatever I ask for, I will receive. And that comes to pricing. You know, I have a client at the moment, and and I've really been pushing them to increase their prices like ridiculously. And I did a sales page yesterday and I said, look, I took some liberties. I think you need to charge more. And they come back to me and they said, I know you're going to kick my ass, but I actually want to reduce the price because I'm a bit freaked. I don't feel like I want to charge that price. And I'm like, cool, this is your baby. You know, you get to do it any way you want, and I'm going to support you 100%. But I want you to be sure that you see the value in what it is that you do. And this is, so for this person, it's not about them aiming less high. They're just going to work on volume. And they're excited about working on volume, charging half the price that I wanted them to charge, and just working with more people. And it's like, that's cool. And, you know, 6 months, 12 months from now, I might get my way, but who knows? You know, it's up to that person. So aiming higher is going to be different for everybody. But, you know that what you ask for, you can receive. So that client of mine, had they charged double what they want to ask, or triple or 4 times as much, they would still get it, because they have, the value is there in that person, and their market will see the value. I know they will see the value, but it didn't sit right for them, and so that's okay. So, but make sure that you're aiming higher. They actually already doubled the price on what they were doing before and removed themselves 50% from the work that they were doing. So, you know, it's a win. Got to win somewhere. So it's still a bit of a win, and they are aiming higher than what they first anticipated. So aiming higher, then, yeah, you've just got to aim higher. You've just got to aim higher, because then you'll achieve it. You know, if you're telling yourself, well, I just want 1 new client this month, that's what you'll get. If you say, you know what, I want 4 new clients this month, it's as simple as that. I'm going to get 4 new clients. You go ahead, you create 4 new client folders with no name, you know, client 1, 2, 3, 4. You put the energy into, this is exactly what I'm going to do this month. If I want to get 4 clients, I know I need to do this, and I'm just going to go after it and do it. You know, what if you get 3? What if you get 2? It's still better than 1, right? Aim higher, because that is what you'll get. So the other thing that I would change, hey Julie, and this probably came a little bit later, but the coaching that I did before, I always found, you know, it drained me, to be honest. And that's why I stopped doing one-on-one coaching for such a long time. But it comes back to that point that I said earlier. I wasn't picking my clients really well. But what I did, even when I was coaching and running long-term programs and things like that, was I didn't charge as much, but I didn't give as much either. And so now when you work with me as a private client, or even in my smaller group programs, I charge more, but I give more. And so that means I'm all in with my clients. It means that I'm not holding anything back. It means that if they need me, I'm there. If they need me to build something, I will build it. If they need me to teach them how to do something, I will teach them how to do something. And I make that commitment when I start to work with those clients, because I know that's how they're going to get a result. So as an example of that, with my private clients and people on my old mastermind programs, I would teach them what they needed to do, and then I would send them away to go do it. So for example, okay, this is the program that you're going to create. Now go and get the sales page built, and they would have to outsource it and stuff like that. And sometimes that just took a long time, and things weren't right. And I'd be saying, go and tell your designer to change this and do this. And they'd go back, and then they'd come back, and it's like, oh, they haven't done it right. And it was just everyone was freaking exhausted by the time the thing was ready for sale. And so, but I know how to do that stuff. So now it's like, I just do it and then get it done. And then there's no delay. And that's part of me going all in. I used to not necessarily, I would say contact me in between as much as you want. No one ever did. And I was like, oh, good. I don't have to deal with people in between. But now I actively go after my clients and I'm like, okay, how did that discovery call go? How did that client go that you were having problems with? Have you done this thing? Make sure that you're doing this thing. And I actively go after my clients in between sessions and just keep them moving. And because I'm interested, and I become pretty close with the clients that I work with one-on-one because we're working together really, really closely. And so that bonus tip, I guess, is charge more so you can give more, because then you're going to get a result for your client. If you are holding back and if you're resentful at the time, so for example, say you're a life coach and you're charging $2,000 for a coaching package, right? And that's like 12 sessions or 10 sessions or something. If that person's sucking the life out of you and they are, you're going to resent the extra time that you're giving, because at some point you're going to go, you're paying me like less than $200 a session and you're in my life every day. And that you become resentful of that. So you're better to charge $5 or $6 grand for the same thing and be prepared to go all in. It's a different energy. And so now I charge enough that I don't feel resentful. If somebody's demanding is not the right word, but if they need a lot of support, especially in the early days, then I'm signed up for that. Like, that's what I'm there for, and I will do that. And I feel good about it. I don't feel resentful, because it's like I'm charging them this price so that they have this sort of access to me. So yeah, charge more so you can do more with your clients, so you can be there more, so that there is no resentment about that. But the other, the main thing is that when you go all in with your clients and you give them more, you're going to get a better result. And also, if clients are prepared to invest more, usually they're a higher quality client as well, and you're going to be able to work with them much more easily. You're more likely to get the result as well. So they're the 5 things. Make sure you have an outcome-driven package. Make sure that you drill down on a niche. I know people argue with me about this. I've always niched. I would never do it any other way. It just works. It doesn't have to be Sally, who's 46 and has 3 kids and all that sort of stuff, and she drives a Range Rover or whatever. But it can be, one of my people on my 5K Formula Group program at the moment, her market is going to be highly sensitive people and women dealing with a specific, set of issues. And it's like, that's not very niche, because it's not saying they're a corporate person or a stay-at-home mum or anything like that, but it's still niche enough for me. It's like, this is a pretty niched type market. Isha's saying, I totally get this now. Charge more so that you can be there more with no resentment. I know. Isha's been killing it. Okay, so Isha is about to sign this week, I reckon, clients 8 and 9. So she'll have sold 10 $5,000 coaching packages in our time together. I think we started working together in October. And this week, those 2 sales will go through. So 10 5K programs in October, November, December, January, February. Less than 5 months. It doesn't feel like 5 months. It feels more like 4. But anyway, good results. So package, niche, clarity around those things. If you're cloudy on if you're not clear, 8 on board, yes, that's it. If you're not feeling super clear, you're not going to be able to move. You're not going to have the energy to move forward with your messaging and to do all of those things that I spoke about in number 4, which is the money making activity. Number 3, don't take responsibility for your clients. 4th of November, okay, 4 months, cool. So the money making activity has got to be a priority, and every day. Like, don't wait for this one big thing to make all of your sales. It's consistently doing the small things every single day. Aim higher. I definitely would have aimed higher earlier on if I had have known it was available to me. It's just, I think my childhood, I grew up, domestic violence, poverty. My dad drank too much. There was sexual abuse. There was not, it was a shit show basically. And I left school at 14 because my mum basically said, you're not going back to school, you need to get a job. So then I left home at 16. And so for me, there was no role modeling for me about wealth or what was possible or anything like that. You know, I never had that role modeled for me. And there was no one in my world that was like that. Like my Nana and Pa, gorgeous people. You know, they did okay. Pa worked. You know, they were probably the strongest role models for me growing up because they were just so steady. You know, they lived in the same house the whole time they were alive. And I moved, I think something like 36 times before I moved out of home. So, you know, there was none of this role modeling stuff. So I didn't know to aim higher. And when I was aiming high, I thought I was aiming high, but I actually wasn't. You know, I look back now and I'm like, I can't believe you had that pissy ass goal. Like that was you aiming high. And even now, you know, I look back a year ago or 2 years ago, hey Hannah, and I look at the things that the goals that I was setting back then, and it's like, who even are you? Like why did you think that was a stretch? And so sometimes it's not something that we can see for ourselves. It's somebody else needs to look in and see that. But I also know that we don't stretch ourselves anywhere near enough. We do tend to play it safe a little bit, even if we think we're stretching. So sometimes it's just about that. So they're the 5 things. Feel free to ask questions because I'm going to go in and tell you about light and leverage now, but ask questions because you've got me here. Pick my brains, use them, you know, use my brains as much as you can. I'm going to find where the video is, and in the comments, I'm just going to drop light and leverage so you can have a look at the sales page. So light and leverage starts on Monday, and it's going to cover a lot of these things. It's going to cover the packaging. So in week 1, it's a small group program. It's a small group coaching program. It goes for 5 weeks. We have live group coaching calls every single week. We have a Facebook group where I'm in there the whole time. And the purpose of this light and leverage program is to get you to create a hero product that you're going to be able to launch over and over and over the course of the next 12 months. And know how to launch it repeatedly using paid ads, because that is how we do business these days. Coaches that are relying on, you know, setting up a Facebook page and having their friends like it and share it, like, you will never get anywhere. If you are not paying for traffic and you don't have a strategy around that, you are doing it the hard way. But I would never ask a coach to start investing in Facebook ads unless they had all of their ducks in a row. And so these are the ducks. So the first week is where I help you to develop that hero offer. So it's usually going to be some sort of a group coaching program, not an online program. Not an online program where you have to go and create modules and write workbooks and all that sort of stuff. We're not talking about that. We're talking about a group coaching program, which is relying on you coaching in a group. So it's low input from you as far as, you know, you don't need to go and build a member site. You don't, you know, it's very, get you started straight away, nice and easy. This is something I've been doing for years. I can show you how to do that. So the first step is we're going to help you develop that hero offer. You might already have one, and it's like we might just zhuzh it a little bit and make sure it's really a hell yes, no-brainer offer for your clients. Step 2 is we're going to map out your launch calendar. So you're going to have a specific set of activities, sales activities that you're going to be doing in the launch phase, which is only going to be 2 weeks. And then from there, this is going to be the launch calendar that you use every time you go to launch this program. Number 3 is we're going to look at your lead generation strategy. So we're going to look at things like, will you run a Facebook group challenge? Will you run a webinar? Will you, what is that going to be? And then it won't just be one thing. There's going to be a number of things that we put in there that go into that launch calendar. Step 4 is taking care of tech. So I'm going to show you how to build sales pages. I'm going to show you how to build a lead magnet. I'm going to show you how to do all the things that you need to do. And in step 5, which is the leads and sales on repeat, is we're going to do a Facebook ads workshop where we're live, we're running we're getting your ads campaign up, and we're doing it together in real time so that you actually have traffic going to your lead generation tools. And that is going to be the way that you move people into your programs. So this is it's an amazing program. You need to be on it. I've just released an extended payment plan. So it's $2,000 paid in full, basically. If you do the paid in full, you get a one-on-one strategy session with me. They sell for $1,500 on my website. So you will receive the program and you'll receive a one-on-one session with me. There's also a 4-part payment plan. There's also an extended payment plan of 20 payments. So it's 20 payments of $110. I want you on this program. I want you doing it. That's why the extended payment plan is there. Hey, Jody. And it's going to help you to know how to create those launch campaigns every time that you want to sell this product. It's going to be one of these things where, you know, you might be selling your coaching, individual coaching, and from time to time you might want to take a break from it, or it might just be part of your growth strategy. Every single month or every quarter or every second month or whatever it is, you just decide, you know what, I'm going to launch this thing again because I know it always sells. It's a great way for me to make money. It's a great way to turn those particular clients doing the group program into private clients. This is how 6 and 7 figure coaches do business, you know, and it's not rocket science. You've just got to be really clear. You've just got to know what you're selling, and you've just got to know how to do, you know, get all of those bits and pieces talking together so that you can do this on repeat. Hey, Christina, you guys missed it, so you're going to have to go back and watch the replay. But yeah, any questions about the program, any questions about, you know, the 5 things that I would do again, anything like that, just fire away because I'm just going to keep babbling on. And at the moment there is the bonus for Light and Leveraged is the 5K formula program. We're just about wrapping up the program, the live program now. So you're going to receive all of the recordings from that program, all the workbooks. You'll have access to the dashboard. Obviously there's no coaching around that because the program's closed out, but you'll receive all the same information that everybody received in the 5K formula for coaches. Now, I know a lot of people are curious about what I do with that program and how I do it. So that is included, and that means you can do this program, then you can go away and create your $5,000 coaching package as well, and you'll know how to sell it without spending any money. So it's a great program. I want you on it. We start on Monday. So if you get yourself signed up today, you'll be ready to go over the weekend, and you will know that on Monday we're going to dive straight into this. The first thing that we're going to do is create that hero program of yours, which is a lot of the things that I spoke about at the start of this training, which is we package up a really tight outcome driven package that your clients are going to love. We know who's going to buy it. We're really clear about who your market is and why it's going to be such a great offer and just a yes from them. So you're going to get a lot of clarity in that first bit, and clarity, money follows clarity every single time. And then, we're going to work our way through that over 5 weeks. You'll be working very closely with me for 5 weeks. I'm in that group every single day. And we have the group coaching calls once a week. Usually I do a bunch of bonus content in there as well. Hey, Kelly, you have just missed it. We're just finishing up. Anyway, that's it. I have got a bit to do today. I am going to Paynesville this weekend. So it's about a 4-hour drive. Dave and I have been invited to go hang out with some friends. My daughter's coming as well, which is really cool. So she's going to be here in a few hours. Got to get to the gym. Got to build a sales page. I've got a list as long as my arm. It was impromptu because usually Fridays I spend the whole day just catching up on all the things that I need to get done before the end of the week. And now I've got like half a day. So I better hustle, get my ass into gear, but it's been great to have you guys on the call. Go back and watch the replay, get yourself signed up to Light and Leveraged. I want you on that program. You will be sorry if you miss it, because this is going to set you up to create consistent income in your business, in your coaching business, whether you're a new coach, whether you have been coaching for a long time, but you're just doing one-on-one. This is going to help you leverage your time better. Newbie coaches, this is probably the thing that's going to, help you stop making those mistakes, stop making the costly errors and all the rest of it, and just start to do what I do a lot faster. And if you can do that, that's priceless. So I would get on that. Anyway, have a great day, and I gotta go. Bye.